Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a great day so far. My name is Jurassic AM and welcome to today's video. Today marks the 10th anniversary of Jurassic World's theatrical release, which is insane to me. But in order to celebrate this milestone for the Jurassic franchise, I am going to be showing you how I paint the Raptor Squad. We're going to be doing this alphabetically, so if you're looking for a particular Raptor, the timestamps are in the description below, but we are going to be starting with Velociraptor Blue. To get started with blue, we are going to take 8 drops of Amish gray, 3 drops of antique white, and 5 drops of water. We mix that together and we're going to apply 2 coats of that for our base coat. Now we're going to take a 10-to-1 mix of Amish gray and black. We're going to mix that 1-to-1 with water and we're going to paint the overbelly and the claws. We're going to do a 1-to-2 mix of antique white, and we're going to cover from the back of the hip almost to the end of the tail. This may require 2 coats, so let's see what this does. Now we take some antique white straight out of the cap, and we're going to outline the pattern where her blue stripe will be. Now we add some navy blue. We just have to leave enough antique white to make an outline. For this next step, for every 7 drops of Amish gray, you want to put in 4 drops of black. And for every drop of paint, you want to add in 2 drops of water. We are going to add in the stripes, and we're going to fill in the space between the blue stripes on Blue's back and the top of her head, as well as any eye sockets that are not obstructed by the blue stripe. All right, the next couple of steps are a lot simpler. First, we are going to take some orange straight out of the cap for the eyeballs. Next, yellow for the iris. Now we do black for the pupil and the nostrils. Now we're going to tackle the mouth, and for the record, how we paint the mouth for blue is the same way that we paint the mouth for all the other raptors. So for the other 3 raptors, we're actually going to skip these next couple of steps. But what you want to do is you want to start off with a 2-to-1 mix of blush pink for the gums and jaw muscles. Now we're going to do a 2-to-1 mix of cherry blossom pink and blush pink, no water, and we're going to paint in the tongue. Now we just carefully add on some antique white for the teeth. Now we're going to add a 1-to-4 mix of cinnamon brown on Blue's tongue and claws. We now put a wash of 1-to-20 black over the entire figure except for inside the mouth. Finally, you want to take a 1-to-10 mix of Amish gray and paint them over the claws. Once that dries, we are going to clear coat our blue, and then we're going to add the clear nail polish to the eyes, nostrils, inside of the mouth, and claws. And now let's move on to Charlie. As you can see, I have already primed the figure and given it 2 coats of our 2-to-1 tan base coat. This also applies to Delta and Echo, so we'll skip this step once we get to those 2. Now we're going to do a 1-to-5 of antique white on the lower jaw and the underbelly of Charlie. But you want to have the underbelly go a little higher on the abdomen than usual. We're now going to take a 1-to-10 mix of early spring green, and we're going to apply it over the entire dinosaur except for the inside of the mouth. We're now going to apply a 1-to-5 of citrus green on the overbelly. We now do a 1-to-5 of leaf green over our citrus green. We're going to do another 1-to-5, this time with forest green, and we're going to put it over the leaf green, except for the sides of the belly. For this next step, it's a little bit of an unusual mix. You want to do a 1-to-4 wash of campground, then you want to add 1 drop of black, and we're going to apply it to the forest green. Up next, we do a 1-to-2 mix of antique white, and we're going to put the white stripes down the body. Okay, so for this next step, for every 2 drops of forest green, you want to put in 2 drops of campground and 1 drop of black. We are then going to mix that 2-to-1 with water, and you want to fill in the stripes along the body, and you also want to paint the scoots and the eye sockets. Now let's do a 115 wash of raw umber for the lower third of Charlie's legs, as well as Charlie's quote-unquote hands. Now we're going to do some yellow straight out of the cap for the eyeballs. If you didn't already know, yellow is usually a pain to work with, so don't be surprised if this requires multiple coats. Now we're going to take a 1 to 3 wash of orange and put it on the eyeballs. We now do black straight out of the cap for the pupils and nostrils. Since the inside of the mouth has already been painted, I'm just going to skip that step. Like I said earlier in the video, we're going to do a 1 to 2 mix of slate, and we're going to paint in the claws. Once that's dried, we're going to clear coat and add nail polish to the eyes, nostrils, inside of the mouth, and claws. And next up, Delta. With Delta, we are starting with a 1 to 3 wash of antique white, and we're going to apply it to the underbelly. Now we do a 1 to 4 of citrus green on the overbelly. We now take a 1 to 3 mix of spa blue and we put it on the citrus green. Next up, we're doing a 1 to 4 of navy blue on top of the spa blue. Now we do a 1 to 7 mix of black on top of the navy blue. Now we do a 1 to 4 of forest green on top of the black. Now we're going to do a 1 to 10 mix of Amish gray, and we're going to put it on whatever antique white is still exposed. So now we do a 2 to 2 to 1 mix of navy blue, forest green, and campground. We're going to mix that 1 to 3 with water, and then we add 2 drops of black. Mix it all together and apply the stripe patterns. Now we do deep red for the eyeballs. Then you want to jump into a 1 to 4 mix of orange on top of the eyeballs, then black straight out of the cap for the pupils and the nostrils. Now we do slate for the claws. We've already painted the inside of the mouth, so we're going to clear coat and nail polish in the usual spots: eyes, nostrils, mouth, and claws. And finally, we're moving on to Echo. So we want to start off with a 1 to 3 of antique white for the lower jaw and underbelly. Now we're doing a 1 to 1 of golden brown on the top of the skull and on the overbelly starting at the back of the skull. So we're now going to do a 2 to 1 of raw umber and yellow, mix that 1 to 4 with water, and we're going to apply it over the entire overbelly. Now we're going to dry brush some burnt umber on the overbelly. Now we're going to do a 2 to 1 mix of navy blue and forest green. We're going to mix that 2 to 1 with water, and we're going to apply Echo's stripes. This might take 2 coats. We're now going to do a 1 to 1 of raw umber for the eye sockets, the end of the snout, and the little skull indentation. I don't know what that part's called. Next, we are going to do some orange out of the cap for the eyes, and then black for the pupils and nostrils. We now need to quickly take some natural buff out of the cap and put the scar on Echo's face. We are now going to do a mix of 1 to 1 burnt umber and cinnamon brown, no water, and then we're going to paint the claws. Once the claws are done, we are going to clear coat and nail polish the usual spots, and then we are going to reveal the full Raptor Squad. And that's how I paint my interpretations of the Raptor Squad from Jurassic World. Again, I don't love the movie, but I do respect what it's done for the franchise, so it felt right to celebrate its 10th anniversary. Now, be sure to check back in a couple of days, as I will be uploading my Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus repaint video for my 50th episode. Folks, if you've made it this far into the video, I do want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch it. If you like what you see, be sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for any future notifications, and share this video around. And until next time, this is Jurassic AM, signing off.